Okay, so let's bake this out. So if we right click on here, we can go to export textures, and this will allow us to basically any work we do in here we can spit out as a set of textures that we need. The only one we need is the normal map. So there's two ways we can do this. We can just export this out as we normally would do and just pull the normal map from it, or we can set up our own profile, and that's the one that I'm going to show you how to do because A, it helps me to show your own profile, but B, this is something you'll probably end up doing a lot. So in configuration we can create a new preset. So to do that we'll go and hit plus, and we'll call this normals. In normals we want to output, so when you think about what our normal map's going to be, so our normal map is an RGB map, so red, green and blue channel. So we'll drag that out and we're going to give it a name, so we'll call it NRM. And it is an RGB, but we need to pull in what the map is going to be. So we need to use one of these, the converted map, which is a normal DirectX. I'm going to drag that onto RGB. We're going to get that normal DirectX map from the RGB channels. I don't expect anyone to really understand why any of that is, but that's how you do it. So if we're done with that, then whenever we pick this profile normals, it will output a map called NRM, and it will be the normal information and outputting it as an RGB map. Okay, so let's go to export. So let's decide where we want our export to go. Stick it in there, and it's a PNG and it's 8-bit, and it's going to be 4K because that's the document size we've got, and the bigger the better really for this, just for this stage, so we don't have to redo it. The texture set we're using is ship, and at the minute we're exporting out all of these different passes. So if we go to config and change to our new one, normals, then we're basically going to output this thing called normal, NRM, and that's it. Hit export, and let's open the folder and have a look. So in our folder we've made, this is the file we've just made. It looks like this. So with all our UVs laid out, this is basically our normal map that has been pushed, which is great. So the next stage is for us to load that back in as a map. So the way we'll do that is if we go to import resources, add a resource, NRM, there we go, and it's a texture, and I'll put it into our current session. It'll just drop in for what we're doing at the moment, unless we put it somewhere else. So if we do a search for it, NRM, then he should pop up here. There he is. Okay, so if we go back to our texture settings, it's a select normal map. If I do a search for NRM, then we should find him. There he is. So that basically means we've now applied this normal map to this object, which means we can actually switch all of these off. And as you can see, they're all still there because essentially it's now using this map on the surface rather than these different layers. So we can take all of these and we group, folder, and we'll call these bump, and then all of these into it. Yep, so we've got it if we need it again, but essentially we have now got an object with a normal map. Have a quick look at it. It all seems to be it to do. Is good. Okay, so the next stage is to bake the rest of our textures. So if we go to bake textures, we don't want to bake the normal map. I'm going to use a low poly mesh as a high poly mesh. We don't want to bake the normal map because we've already got it, but we'll have world space. We don't need ID because we're not using an ID map. We're going to set the output size to 4K. We do want ambient occlusion, we do want curvature, we do want position. We're not bothered about thickness because I don't think we'll use it. So we'll bake the rest of those. Okay, and we're done. So now we have a normal map, we have an ambient occlusion map, and we have a world space normals. Good place applying some materials. So just to give you an idea of what difference that will make to what we're doing, if we go to Smart Materials, just pick something like bone stylized, drop that on top. Take a minute or two, we'll drop this back down. In fact, there you go. So what can we see? You can see the effect that the normal map has had on the surface and on the effect of the smart material. If we're looking, if I hit C, I can basically see this without any material colour on it. This is just the colour map. You can see the effect of basically having those normals, these other maps on this, on how this smart material distributes the dark and light parts and where it puts the dust and things like that. So quite cool. So in the next video we'll start using that to get a design for the ship.